What's up, Soul Warriors? Welcome, welcome, welcome to this Saturday Night Soul Session live with me, Reverend LC. I'm so grateful and honored to be here to get to sit in this space with you guys as we close out this year of 2023. Man, it's been a wild ride. Let's just not even lie to each other. It's been a wild ride. It's been filled with so much. We're going to talk about some of those things, the battles, the wins, the lessons, and most of all, I guess the blessings. Because a lot of us are still sitting in this space of recovery. A lot of us have embraced a lot of healing this year. It's been an amazingly hard place, but someone reminded me this week that used to that connected with me way back in the beginning of me starting to do this, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago now. And they reminded me of something that I knew when I first started doing this, is that the recovery community has a powerful position, a powerful assignment within this new shift, this new paradigm we're moving into. The world is changing. The earth is changing. We are changing. Our money is changing. The way that we do things, our foundations are changing. So much is changing. And we, the recovery community, are a vital part of this change, of helping this change come about in so many ways. And I'm not trying to make it important, so important that it almost loses its importance, because it is when we heal ourselves that we heal humanity. And more than anything, what people that are still in a place of truly active addiction and pain and loneliness and mental health crises, what they're doing is they're watching us more than they're listening to what we say, because we can all tell each other what the best things to do are and how we should do things, but it's the there's less substance within those words if we are not being the example. And the only way that we can be a true example to anyone is to really focus in the healing of ourselves. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. I hope you're down for it. I hope you're here. And I hope, even if you watch this later, you watch this on a replay, that you will find. I hope you'll watch it before the end of 2023, because most of you know already, if you know me, I don't really do a preparation before I come out. There have been some things that were topicked that I wanted to talk about, but what I mostly try to do is just move out of the way. So I hope there is something here that will help resonate in your life, and that will, if nothing else, let you know that you are not alone within your hard places of this year. And so that's what we're going to talk about. I can't wait to get into it. But first, I always, always, always have to tell you how much I love my good friend, my soul sister, Pamela Topchian, and how much I want you to get her book. She's become such just a matriarch within our community, even though her experiences have been different than ours. And she's written this amazing book about her life. I didn't come this far to only come this far. And it's available on Amazon. She's made it available on Amazon for, I think it's $10. $10. And she's made it affordable so that everyone can kind of get it. And for nothing else but to know you're not alone, to know that your situation is honestly not so unique that you can't heal through it. And so I find inspiration wherever I try to, in every day. And even in the chaotic times, I have to get really intentional about doing that. So anyway, this is a great book. It's by my good friend and our warrior community's own Pamela Topchian. It's amazing. It's amazing. And y'all know I love books and I love resources and I love sharing about that. She does so much for me. Hey, I have made a promise to myself to start letting you guys know that if you want to help us keep going and growing and upcoming season 6, you can do that by becoming a monthly sponsor over at anchor.fm/recovery soul food. They have a bunch of different little packages, and all it does is help the podcast keep going and growing. And thank you for all the likes and the shares and all the stuff that you do and comment, talk to each other. That's what I love about this. It's a community, and that's what we're about, is connecting people with each other that share things and that can learn from one another. And remember, our diversity is our strength. It is what has built us to the humanity that we are today. It is our diversity, and that's what makes us powerful together. And together, we can do anything. So I'm super ready to get into that. If you want to do that, you can do that by going to Anchor. We have some other resources too, but I'm going to start there because it's just uncomfortable for me to do. I'm still working through all of that. So there it is. That's how to do it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it even if you consider it. So if you guys are ready to get into this Saturday Night Soul Session live with me, Reverend LC, I'm ready too. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, 0.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Happy holidays, everyone, if you celebrate them, whatever it is. I did want to throw that out there and say that. I have a tendency to get so caught up I can forget some important stuff. But first of all, I want to give a shout out. Hey, Brian, what's up? Thank you for being here, my man. It's so awesome to get to spend time and the energy of people that have come with me through this entire journey thus far. And Brian is one of those folks, and I appreciate you, man. I really, really do. Ah, so 2023 is coming to a close quickly, right? Quickly. This has been a fast moving, fast paced kind of year. It has come with some of the hardest times and the biggest mirrors that bring back to us, what we really still got to work on, what we need to work on healing through, and just feelings that we thought maybe we had already worked through. We've seen a lot of relapse in this year. We've seen a lot of overdosing this year. And we've seen a lot of growth in the recovery community in this year. We've seen a lot of healing in this community this year. So it's been a really wild time. It's been a really wild ride. We as a humanity are changing and shifting. The earth itself is changing and shifting. And within that, there's just so much of our stability that's being shaken. And yet I heard it tonight because, I always try to feed my soul before I come and try to even remotely help feed yours. So while I was feeding my soul, it was talking about the hard places and how the strongest people are put in the hardest places, because a lot of what we pray and hope for, and in these awful words, the manifesting words, all of that stuff, in all of that, it never does show up the way we think it should. We see one thing in our mind and our vision, and sometimes we can be so focused on that vision that we fail to see how we are absolutely receiving the things that we are striving for within, without, healing through things. There's been a lot of healing and a lot of work being done on ourselves this year. And some of those things we've asked for. We've asked for positions of leadership. We've asked for promotion. We've asked for ascension. We've done our shadow work. We've done all of that stuff. And sometimes it can be hard to have the intention, because at the same time, all of that we've asked for and that we've worked for, while it's showing up amidst the chaos. And yet we have to go through the hard places because we have asked for these bigger places and these bigger things. We have to go through those hard times to get there. I was listening tonight, and it was talking about, Moses in the promised land, and how, when the promised land was talked about, the people saw pomegranates, but they did not understand and realize that they had to walk through a desert to get there. And so it was in the desert that they began to complain, and it was in the desert that they turned against Moses. And I can think of so many things, that can resonate with that, because a lot of us have felt like we've been walking through the desert during this year, during 2023. This is just the beginning of it's like a preview of kind of what's coming next in the fastness of the way things are going, in the duality of the blessing and the curse at the same time. We can see that this is going to be our new normal almost. Everybody, that phrase was so coined after COVID, but wherever you are right now, and whatever you're going through, I ask you to please, like, stop and really have some time of retrospection, because look at what we as individuals have been through in this last year and these last 3 years, and look at what the world itself has been through. Look at what the earth has been through. It doesn't take it doesn't take much to see that it is not only us as a people, but the entire system that is now moving and changing. And we can choose to be so focused. And when I say we can choose, I don't want to make it sound easy. It's not. It is hard to choose gratitude in the midst of suffering from feeling like you don't have enough. It is very, very hard to make that choice. But the power is that we have that choice. And it's in knowing that we have that choice that brings a sense of freedom. And so as we preview up into this new coming time, we can spend the time being angry with the changes, and we can spend the time being angry at the foundations that we had built so much of our identities on. We can be angry that they are falling apart. We cannot take the cues and the messages that come to us to help lead us. We can't not take those and then be angry about it. But at the same time, we're human and we can. And so the power is going to come in. Are you able, not in can you stop the human emotion as you're going through all of this, but are you also able to recognize the blessings that are coinciding with the lessons? I myself have gotten into a whirlwind of reaction, and am having to get very, very intentional in that time, as much as I possibly can be aware of it. Have to get intentional about moving my focus off of what I feel like is my detriment, and focusing on how really and truly all of the dreams that I had for myself and my family at the beginning of 2023 have shown up amidst mass chaos. So much chaos and survival kicking in that it's hard to hear a message of hope, that it's hard to hear anything other than what becomes that survival focus. But getting intentional about really recognizing that starts to bring that balance of pure survival and chaos back into an almost equal place, or an equal place. Even if we can't get all the way to gratitude, if we can get to recognizing just that recognition of how the blessings have shown up in the midst of the chaos, Just being able to recognize that will invoke a sense of gratitude. And what do we know about gratitude? Gratitude changes everything. It changes us. It changes our brain. It changes our chemistry. It changes our health. It changes our wealth. It changes everything. And that we know. And to jump back to the place of talking about how important and vital the recovery and healing community is, especially the recovery community is in all of this, is that these are the things that we know. In fact, we have to wake up and live our lives by these things, or else our lives depend on it. Because we know if we go back out, we probably may not come back in. And if you're like me and you did it for the majority of your life, I know I don't have another run in me. To to think and to fathom about the fact that I'm turning 50 next month. I can't even be upset. Like, I can't be upset about growing older. I cannot, and I'm not. It doesn't bother me in that way. What it does is it brings this overwhelming gratitude of just how much I did not believe I was gonna be here to see this. And had I succeeded in my path of death, I would have never gotten the opportunity to experience what having a family is like, what having something to work for and focus on and protect and love and have that community around me. I would not have gotten to know that. And so at a certain point I can honestly look back and say, thank you for that. And so I'm excited to turn 50. 40 came with its own wisdom, and I just can't wait to see what 50 holds. It's hard to look at yourself growing older, but I'm really, really excited. I feel like I'm living my life for the first time since being in recovery. And that's true for the whole 10 years, even as rocky as it's been, excuse me, even the times that maybe I didn't get it 100,000% correct that day. In each one of those years, I've grown and I've learned so much and I've experienced so much. And I just wouldn't trade it at this point. And yeah, so I'm excited to turn 50. I'm super excited to turn 50. And I'm super excited to go into this next time as well. And I'm really doing my best to try to move with it. I'm one that has always had, a lot of issues with foundations and change. But I'm really opening up to feel excited about what we're going into because we're going to have a choice here too. We're going to have a choice to focus on the fear. We're going to have the choice to choose what we ingest because as a man thinketh, so he is. So we're going to have a choice to do that. We're going to have a choice whether we lend ourselves to the influence of fear, of what's coming next, because nobody knows. We're all doing this together. We really are. And though we have these perceived notions of people that have it more together than we do, I don't think so. We're doing this together as a humanity. This is all of us together. We're learning together. And so, what will the choice be? Will you focus on the exciting parts of this? Can you focus on, you know, what's next for you versus, the fear of what might be? How about you begin to understand that you help create the world you live in? You help create the reality in which you experience. And so, how do you want to create that? And so for me personally, I'm excited. I know that I have tendencies to fall off into fear or to let certain things influence me. And therefore I have to be aware of that. And because of I'm aware of that, I don't partake in that very much. There will be every now and again that I will kind of open that door a little bit, and it's not very long before I shut it back because it begins to mess with my peace, and my peace has to become it is the most important thing to me. Now, that being said, I've had mental crisis, especially this last week. It just finally started breaking this last week. Came through my body the week before, and this past week, it's come through me. And I have been in a space where I'm reminded of what my tools, and I'm also reminded of how hard it is sometimes to execute those tools. I think that's the word I was looking for. But it's hard to use those tools. I had to be reminded of how hard it was to use those tools. And a lot of us are walking around in the world feeling alone. We're feeling alone in what we carry. We're feeling alone in how we carry it, and we're connected to a lot of people online, and it's great to have that to reach out. But if we're not exposing the place that we're in, if we're not exposing that, then many people are looking at us, and they are perceiving our lives in the way in which they think of us. So if they think of you as a positive, happy person, they're not going to see that you're struggling. And sometimes we just have to ask for somebody to listen. And I found myself, we get angry with those that surround us for not showing up to listen. But I also realized that I never exposed exactly how heavy the weights I was carrying. And it's easy for us to do that, and I think that it's really, really special for us to be able to connect human to human. Online's great. I love it. But there is a specialness that when we can connect, so, human to human, that helps us get through certain things. And so, if you're carrying a lot of burden right now, if you're going through a lot of stuff and you're finding it hard to work your tools and you feel yourself getting into a place of crisis, then what I've learned from my situation is I got to ask for it sometimes. That I just can't expect someone to give it when they're not even sure what to give. And I also can't forget that they're carrying their own burdens. And not to be sounding like, oh, I don't want to burden people. Sometimes we use that as an excuse. We've got to be able to get vulnerable enough to open and ask someone for what you need. And so many times, if you ask the people that you know in your soul are connected to you and that are good people and have your best. And now, if you ask the trash, you get what you're going to get. But if you ask the people that are truly connected to you and you know that they're a person you could feel safe enough with to do that, the likelihood is they're going to give that to you. And in the end, they're going to be appreciative it was clear. Who likes trying to maneuver through something or figure out what someone else needs or wants? So the clarity is going to be appreciated. And I want you to take care of yourself in this time as well, mind, body, and soul, because again, we're walking through what feels like an emotional desert. And many of us in our very personal ways and us as a collective, and we're going through it right now. And if we keep focused on knowing that we're growing through, if we stay focused on growing through and not just going through, then we always have to know that there's something different on top of this. There's another level. If I'm going through this, there is another level. And whether you've asked for that level or whether you just know it's there, it doesn't really matter. But we got to get through the desert. And if you can hold on, if you can just hold on, and I know it's hard, if you can just hold on, and just keep working it the best you can. Perfection is a lie. In the great words and the book of the same from my beautiful friend Kareth Foster, you can be perfect or you can be happy. There's no two. Perfection is a lie. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. And it gets bigger and bigger and more and brighter and in your face. Hence, social media, all of that influencing, it gets so much brighter in your face when it's time for you to shift into your holding your peace, man. Let your peace be your most important thing because it's going to be at the core of driving all of the others. And it's hard for those of us that have come from the streets and come from that life to not engage and react in every single thing that comes our way. But holding our peace is what is going to save our lives. Because internal drives our physical. So if you're sick all the time and you got ulcer issues and stomach issues and muscle issues and cramps and pain and all that stuff, we're inside of us is doing its best to get our attention in some way, shape, or form. It'd be great if it came with like a tag that told you what this is trying to say to you. But it's holding us for a reason. It's calling us for a reason. So just hold on. Use your tools as best you can. Make sure that you're here to fight another day. Be vulnerable with the right people and ask for what it is that you need. If it's just somebody to listen, then say that. Say that. And and let it out. Let it go, Gotta live to fight another day. And you're worth the fight. I'm just telling you, whatever it takes, you're worth it. Your life is worth it. Remember, let's find the balance and not only staring at that's one thing of survival, but being able to see that at the same time, something else magical is likely happening in your life somewhere. Last weekend, I had one of the worst experiences of my life buying a new, safe, nicer place for my family to live. At the same time, filled with fear and doubt and anger and losing and reaction and just fear more than anything. It's like I say all of that and it just fear is what it was. And yet at the same time, my family's together. We have the place. We're working out the kinks. We're still trying to get moved in and all that stuff. And so I gotta see. Gotta choose to see. There's freedom in the choice. There's freedom in knowing that you have a choice. And I thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's been so fun. This is what brings me joy. This is what nourishes my soul. And I appreciate all of you all the time. All the time. And for anyone who watches this later, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you guys for doing all the things and just being here. And I hope that some of this helps feed your soul. I hope it reminds you how important you are. I hope it reminds you because I wasn't supposed to be here. This was not in my vision. I never thought I could do it. I never thought I'd be able to not use a substance to drown out the parts of me that now are my absolute favorites. That just wanted to be seen, just wanted to be heard, just wanted to be acknowledged and validated. I lived in a land of broken dreams that I didn't believe had the possibility to come true. All the way down to healing. Thought I'd be angry and resentful all of my life. I could not see how to let any of that go. I could not see how you could possibly just, I thought I was a ruined soul. So keep going, keep growing. Your limits are only imposed in here. You can do anything that you want to do. If it can be in your vision, it is for you. You don't dream of everything, you don't envision everything, but the things that you envision means that there's a possibility that if you want it, you can get it. If you want to become it, you can. You're basically already it. You just got to bring that out of you. And every one of us has that within us, even if you can't see yours right now. I promise. I promise. All right, y'all. I thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you guys the most amazing. This is the last time I'm going to see you before, I guess, Christmas, right? If you celebrate Christmas, whatever you celebrate, wherever you are. If you don't celebrate Christmas and you're from someone else, please drop in the comments what it is that you do celebrate, and please tell me just a little bit about it. I love learning new things. I love learning about new people and new cultures, and I think that it's just amazing that we can do this, and people from somewhere completely else get to watch it and get to be a part of it. So I thank you. So all of you have happy holidays. Create your recovery battle plan before you go into some of these crazy situations that some of you might be putting yourselves into for these holidays. Be careful, be aware, have your tools on hand, make your battle plan, make your non-negotiables, and stick to them. You got to create your boundaries. You're the most important part of all of this. And so you got to take care of yourself. All right, y'all. Have an amazing Christmas. Have an amazing holiday. Be amazing. And remember, above all else, you can get up from your give up, and you also can create a life you love. I love you guys. I'll see y'all next week. Have an amazing week.